All right, guys, we have lots of fun with our videos. Today we are doing a video walkthrough on a STIHL zero turn, specifically this model right here, which is a RZ560. This machine right here is going to be their lightest in the full commercial model, which I will represent by the ROPS bar. We also have the STIHL homeowner models, which you notice do not have a ROPS bar, little lighter duty seat on it, a little bit lighter duty on all the features. We do have a video out there on this model. If you guys are interested in the homeowner version, I can tell you the pros, the cons of this model. Just keep in mind that we have all the different STIHL mowers in stock. We've been selling STIHL mowers for a while. We are definitely one of their #1 dealers for volume because we have been in the business for 18 years selling mowers. You guys in the market for any of parts or accessories for these mowers, give us a call. We can ship you parts. If you're interested in handheld equipment, leaf blowers, all that stuff, we also have an online store where we can ship stuff to you as well. So today we're going to be going through the RZ560. The RZ560 is our #1 most sold zero turn on the property so far year to date. The reason why is because it's not the top of the line that they provide, and it's not like heavy duty homeowner. This thing is a little bit overkill for like a 5-acre lawn, but it's something that's just going to last you quite a while. And it has all the features of a commercial mower, but like I said, it's got more of a price point for the homeowner. You guys can notice right away that it has the heavy duty ROPS bar on it. The ROPS bar is part of the unit, so that way in case you roll over, this machine's not going to flatten you out. What's nice about the ROPS bar is the ROPS bar does bend down. Another couple great features I'm going to point out right away with the 560 is it does come with a nice multi-layered foam seat. It's got lots of really nice stitching on it. It's got these armrests that do go up and down on it. And the seat slides forward and backwards. As we work our way just down towards the front of the unit, you notice these handles here when they come in. They've got lots of adjustments. These bolts here, they are slotted so that this handle can be closer to you. You can have it closer to you, or you can have it further away for you. And the seat slides all the way back. So you can see that for people who need to have a little bit more room, is a great way of saying it, these things have a ton of adjustments. Just keep in mind that if you're going to buy a zero turn, preferably a STIHL, preferably from us, you want to make sure that you always start out by putting your feet into the platform and make sure, I'm a short guy, make sure that when you put your feet into the platform and you push, that is pushing against your back. That's actually a very important part to a zero turn. That's what holds you in. So before you set up anything on your zero turn, especially a STIHL that you buy from us, you want to make sure that you start by putting your feet into the plate and you push yourself into the seat to make sure that you're locked in. That's how you can tell where to put the seat. Then you bring in your handlebars and you want to make sure that they're set comfortable for you. And just keep in mind that when you come all the way back, when you bring the levers all the way back, you want to make sure that the levers are not touching your chest. So I personally like to have my arms out a little bit more. You can see how I like to have them out. So if you have to adjust them, you're just going to loosen these 2 bolts, and you can slide this arm forward or backwards, or you can have it go up or down because there's multiple holes in the arm itself. Next adjustment, which is going to be over here, I want to show you the actual adjustment for the foot pedal. The foot pedal itself does have some sliding right here. You can raise and lower this pedal so that way you can actually control where you want to be. Also, where's my adjustment? Let me find it. This spring right here, you'll notice at this end of the spring that it has a tie rod end on it. The other end of that spring is going to be where you can adjust the amount of tension that is on the deck. And what that does is that, so when you go to push this lever down where your foot goes, I should have worn my nice shoes, but hey, it's not a show and tell, right? That's what happens around here. But when you go to put your foot down on this, depending on how much pressure you have on the deck will be controlled by these lift springs. So if you want to know what those are for, those are completely adjustable to control how much pressure is on this pedal. You guys will notice this platform right here. This platform just has a pin that just goes into these holes, and every one of these holes is represented by about 1/4 of an inch, and it's done by inches. So depending on where you want to put your deck height, you just drop this pin in place like that, which, by the way, it's magnetized. I don't know if you noticed, but it kind of slams down. It slams down. It's magnetized, which is super nice. You pick the hole that you want it to go into. Now, you see this pin right here that my finger is on. This right here, you have to push down, slide this over, and then what it does is the deck goes down, and right now it's sitting on this pin. That's what holds the deck up. There's no electronics, there's no electric motors, servos, electrical parts that can break. That's actually a super nice mechanical feature to the mower. Just keep in mind that I know a lot of the other mowers, they have all these electric servos and relays and all that stuff. This thing, super mechanical, keep it simple. As you push this down, you'll notice this lever pops over. It automatically comes up on its own. Super cool. Sweet. Underneath the seat, because I think that's cool, might as well show you the seat. Underneath the seat on this model right here, there is all sorts of goodness of stuff underneath here. Gets kind of overwhelming, but I'm going to make it real simple, just like if you bought this mower from us, Leaf. Right here is going to be where your battery is. It sits down in this battery tray. We just put this battery in, but this battery strap actually goes all the way around the battery. So in case you guys ever want to change your battery, it just locks down in here. And that rubber strap is what keeps your battery in. You notice right here, this is your fuses for the unit. And then you notice these two canisters right here. These are going to be your transmission reservoir bottles. In here is going to be the transmission fluid for controlling the oil levels inside of the transaxles for right side and left side. So that pretty much covers this area. If you look in the front, there's quite a bit going on here. Just to make it real simple for you, you notice that this whole contraption right here is just parking brakes. So these two rods are going to be your park and brake, which are adjustable. So if you find that the park and brake's not doing its job, you can adjust it right here. Safety switch for your park and brake, that's just part of the safety circuit itself. And you'll notice that right here, that when the park and brake comes down, it also brings the levers back. So this is part of the steering mechanism. This brings it back. Now, also part of the adjustability of one of these zero turns, you notice that it's got these two stop bolts. There's a bolt here in the front, and there's one here in the back. This actually controls how far this lever goes forward and backwards. So you can actually control it here. This does not control your steering at all. It has nothing to do with it. This just controls how far you can move the arm, because you don't want all that pressure on the transaxle, transaxle rotating arm that goes into the transaxle. Technical term, I'll get to that point. Funny story. All right. Now, if you want to adjust the tracking on me, if you want to adjust the tracking on one of these zero turns, there is a procedure. Do not just start twisting rods. Do not just start turning tie rod ends and all that stuff. Don't do it. There's actually a recommended process for it. It does involve jacking the machine up. It does involve the wheels moving while the machine is running. There is a process for it. I am not going to explain it to you because I don't want you to call me up and tell me that I did it wrong. But I will show you where the adjustments are made on this zero turn. So you'll notice right here on this arm, as I rotate this back and forth, you will see this black rod that is rotated here, these two lock nuts. This rod right here is how you are going to adjust the left-hand side tracking, whether it is in or out. So you can see that this rod right here is going to control this transaxle speed in correlation to where your arm is. And the other one is going to be obviously more down underneath the side panel. So that pretty much concludes everything that's under there except for one thing I just found. There is a bolt that's right here at the end of my fingers. This bolt controls how far in your arms go. So if you want the arms to go in further, you just turn that bolt in. If you want the arms to come out further, you just have to turn it out. Cool? Let's talk about the cockpit of the machine. You'll notice right here on this side, this machine has got your electric start key switch. It has got your throttle control, idle and full throttle. It's got your choke, your hour meter, your headlights, and your PTO switch. It's very important that when you fire up the PTO on this machine, it's very important that when you fire up the deck on this zero turn, and it's true for all zero turns, it's very important that you fire it up with the engine RPMs at 3/4 throttle to full throttle. The reason for that is because the PTO clutch is designed to slip at that RPMs. And because of belt deflection, And what you get is harmonic balancing, where what happens is the belt starts vibrating. It's designed to start at 3/4 to full throttle. So make sure when you guys go to fire up the decks on your zero turns that you pull that button up at 3/4 to full throttle. Not a lot of people knew that. So that pretty much covers the cockpit on that side. On this side here, you notice it's got 2 beverage holders, 2 different sizes, whether you want big mug or small mugs. I know my truck doesn't have that. I wish it did. Wish it had a big mug. But yeah. And it's got 2 USB chargers for it too as well. So if you decide to drop your cell phone down in here, which it has a slot for your cell phone, you can put your charger right there on here. It also has a pretty good sized gas tank on it. I don't have the spec on me right now, so I'm not going to guess. The gas tank, it's got a pretty good sized lid on it. It's got a strap on it so it doesn't fall off. And it's got an actual gauge on it, a float gauge. That way you guys can see the depth of it. Depth of the fuel. That sounds good. Let's go around to the back. Let's keep this thing going. So the zero turns that I bought, you can either equip these with 2 different engines. I have my personal preference just based off of 20 years of doing this, but right now I'm going to tell you that you can get 2 different engines on this. You can get either Briggs Stratton or you can get Kawasaki's. I'm voting right now that Kawasaki is a phenomenal motor. I think it's a great engine. I think that it is definitely top of the line. I've been doing warranty work for both companies for a very long time. And I find that Kawasaki is going to be the best engine that's out there, but it also comes with a price tag. For me, in my area, my customers, my mowers, for what I sell, the Briggs Stratton is perfect for it, and it will last as long as the mower does. Love Briggs Stratton. It's easy to get parts. They're affordable. It's cost effective, and you don't have to jump through the hoops that Kawasaki recommends. I'm calling them out. Just saying. Now, the Briggs Stratton that I have equipped on this is a CXI 2700 model. It is a 27 horsepower engine on this one specifically. The horsepower ranges depending on deck size and what mower that you get, but it's really easy to service this engine. So the oil filter is located right on the side of the engine. It's really easy to check the actual engine oil itself. Right here is where you can check the engine oil. Now down here along the side, if you can see where my finger is, this is a rubber line that you can pull out and you can run it out the back of the mower. And that is how you change your oil. So all you have to do is just take that nut off the end of that line, and that right there is how you change your oil. Now over here on this side of the mower, you'll see that you've got a few filters here. This is just a breather filter. It's just for a breather for gas tank vent. It also has a really nice fuel filter on it. So just keep in mind, if you ever want to service this, we can send you service kits for the Briggs & Stratton engines or the Kawasaki engines. We can sell you service kits. Recommend for an engine on a zero turn that when you do a service on it, you got to do spark plugs, you have to do air filter, engine oil, fuel filter. Bare minimum. Keep that in mind. Do that once, twice a year. Some of you guys just don't do it at all. Right here underneath this cover is where you're going to find, if you remove these 2 screws, right underneath here is where you're going to find an air filter. But we're not talking about engine service. We're talking about zero turns. Okay, now if this machine, zero turn, dies in the road and you have an emergency fit, to get it off of the road and it won't start, the first thing you have to do is you have to take the park and brake off, and then you have to release the hydraulics. Somebody's like, how do you release the hydraulics on a zero turn? Specifically, the STIHL zero turns, all of the hydraulic releases are located in the back of the zero turns. Now, they're located in 2 different spots depending on if you went with that mower, this mower, the 500 series, the 700 series, the 900 series. So I'm going to show you where it is without getting on our head, because I think that's another video. But if you basically, if I was to point, you ain't got to come down here. If you point down underneath here, that is going to be where your hydraulic release is. There's actually a pitcher on it and a rod that you can pull to release the hydraulics. Keep in mind that there is 2 hydraulic releases, one for that side and one for this side. If we go around the front of the mower, last thing I want to show you guys. This plate right here is how you can access the top of the deck. If you pull this plate off, this plate actually comes off. It allows you to access the top of the deck. And keep in mind that when you buy mowers from us, it includes leaves, just because I'm making this in the end of the year. That's what we do when we're slow. All of our mowers are included with greasable spindles on it. You notice nice heavy-duty arms. They come with 5/8 belts, and everything that rotates under there has got grease fittings on it. On the front of the machine, if we back up, You notice that the deck hangs on these chains. The chains are nice because the chains allow it just to there's no give. Like cables have give, chains don't have give. They also are fully adjustable right here. If you ever decide to adjust your deck, there is adjustments on back and front. It does have gauge wheels on it depending on what model mower you're buying. Keep in mind they do sell this in a few different deck sizes. This is not particular to the deck that's on it. This is a 60-inch deck. Pretty sure I said it once, but I'll say it again. This mower does have your front trailing arm setup. There is a big difference between these two mowers. Bear with me. You'll notice right here on the front left that this has a trailing arm setup. What's nice about the trailing arm is it has a lot more play to it. Really nice strut tower here for controlling really good suspension. Compared to this model over here, you'll notice that it doesn't have a trailing arm. It has this sway on it, okay? This mower here pivots here in the middle, and it only has suspension here and here. This mower has got it independently. Super awesome feature about this mower versus that. This is going to be way more softer, going to glide way better through the lawn. This is one of the reasons why this mower is awesome. Watch our videos, you know I do that too. And on the back of the mower, just because we're going all the way around again, guys, this is how we do it. Just come your side. This also has independent suspension on the rear. This entire wheel transaxle setup is located on its own axle assembly that goes up and down on its own. So that means that the rear end of this machine has independent suspension. Another reason why this machine is awesome. Sweet. You guys need parts for these, you let us know. If you're in the market for any of these mowers, take a look online. We've got more videos on these mowers online. Like I said, if you guys are in the market, we do offer financing right now. There's currently great finance deals on this. If you've got a mower that you think has got some value or you're interested in trading it in, we also accept that. So whether you're looking for a nice heavy-duty homeowner or a light-duty commercial or full-bore commercial, which we have also on the website, we have the 700 series in stock, we have the 900 series in stock, and take a look out for our electric zero turns. We also have the STIHL electric zero turns. For those of you who need bid assist or if you want to do it for a government agency, we can definitely give you guys a bid quote for the electric zero turns. We have really good luck with those, but the price tag is definitely up there, but they're well worth the money. You guys interested in the market? Take a look at the website, ownerperformance.com. We appreciate you guys watching. Talk to you soon.